Well, a very good evening, everybody. Welcome to this call on this Tuesday evening orientation call. Well done for being here. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be an exciting call. First of all, let me start off by saying that this call will be recorded. So we're going to use this as an asset because I know it's going to be an amazing call. And for everybody on this call today, make sure you have your notepad ready, your pens ready, your note elements ready, because get ready for literally golden nuggets being plugged in, to yourself as you learn from one of the very best in our company, in our industry, a very good friend of mine. My name is Lee Ju, and it's a pleasure to host you in today. Riemann, what an amazing time to be in this, 2026, year of 2026, when there's not many companies out there allowing us the opportunity to generate financial freedom. There's nothing new out there with most companies. And here we have an opportunity when K beauty is trending, K pop movies are trending, K pop dramas are trending, and we have an opportunity to take advantage of this wave of K beauty with the official number one K beauty company in or of South Korea. So welcome to all of you who've logged in. We've got all different individuals from around Europe plugged in. Think about this. We only started in November, and here we are 10 days away, literally 10 days away from launching, Spain in Europe, and then Ireland, and then Italy. And many of you are here, many of you are newly, promoted team leaders. Many of you are newly promoted senior managers, and many of you are planners who've just come on board and now come onto this call to learn about how do I take my business to the next level. And, I remember when I first got started in this industry, for me to get access to one of the highest paid earners in the company, I had to wait for nearly a year before I could leave the United Kingdom, go to a place, at a convention to listen and learn from one of the top leaders in the company. And here we are in 2026, through the power of Zoom, we get to listen in, from where we are to Timothy Herr, who's the national director in our company and who's a phenomenal leader. I personally went to Vegas to listen to him a few months ago, and it was electric. And to have him on a call, so we asked him to come on, we asked him to literally give us his words of advice, we asked him to do a basic orientation training, and we also asked him at the end of it to do a special training on how he was able to achieve the highest rank in this company really quickly. So he's pieced this together for us, taken his valuable time, and he's making himself available for us just so that we can learn, we can grow. Here's the question. Where else in the world are you going to get an opportunity to be in a company and learn from one of the best? Or like they say in France, the creme de la creme, the cream of the cream. Where else? Other than in Riemann. So we are excited. Make sure you pay attention, have your videos on, stay plugged in the next 55 minutes so that you can take a lot of value from what he's going to say. So it's an absolute honor and privilege, for me to introduce my brother, from another mother onto the call. And that's none other than, National Director Tim Herr. Over to you, buddy.
Oh man, golly, you got to get an introduction from Lee Thomas, man. What an introduction! Wow. When you hear my story, you're gonna go, I don't know if Lee and Tim are talking about the same guy when I tell you about myself, but wow, what an introduction! I love Lee so much because of he operates the same way that I do, right? With a spirit of abundance. That to me is the way to operate, and he supports everybody in that UK and all of Europe market. And that's the same way that I operate here in the States and really anywhere that I go. My desire, number one, is to make sure that Riemann becomes, my goal right now is to get him to $5 billion a year in sales. So however we make that happen, I know that I'm going to get a piece of the pie, but I just want to make that pie as big as possible. So we all work together. People have different team names and all that stuff, but the reality is that I'm a part of one team and we're all part of the same team, and that's the Riemann team, So it's an exciting to be with you. Every time I talk to people in the UK, I always ask them, I say, man, to us in the States, when we talk to you guys, it's like, dang, they sound so smart. You know, like you guys, just the accent, it just sounds so smart. I know you guys don't have an accent. I have the accent, but to us, it's like, dang, they sound so smart. So I always ask everybody, do Americans just sound dumb, right? Because that's what I wonder. But you know, so I'm gonna have some fun today with you. I know you guys are really people from the Brits are really the way you guys operate. You know, you guys are not as like I don't want to say like I get fired up and I just want to apologize in advance. You know, I scare people in America, so I know I'm going to scare some of you guys. But when you hear my story, you'll find out why. You know, I get so excited. But you know, I was very blessed about 2 years and what I guess that's like 27 months ago or so to get started in Remon. And little did I know, like this thing was going to grow so fast. And I'm going to share with you some of the things. And I know right now, many of you that have gotten started, and I really look at like, you know, you guys still in the pre-launch stage, even though like, you know, we're operating right now in the UK, it's very early on. And you guys are really the pioneers. I mean, you guys are truly the pioneers of that market. And my hats are off to all of you. But I believe in my heart over the next, you know, Lijuu said 55 minutes. I don't even know if I know that much information to share. I don't know, but and I apologize too that I talk so fast. I know you're going to be like, this guy needs to slow down, but it's just been a blessing for me. My profession, this profession has been for me. I'll just tell you real quickly. Like 30 years ago, I got very fortunate to get introduced to this industry, and at that time in my life, you know, I never obviously been in business. You know, I was 17 years old at the time, and you know, I was in high school and I was working at a go-kart track part-time. You know, I was living on friends' couches and any couch I could find to crash on. I'd been doing that for about 3 years. And when I couldn't find a couch to crash on, there was a school that had a portable out back that I could sleep on, and I would sleep on top of that portable. So needless to say, I didn't come from money. When I say I didn't come from money, it's like, you know, my dad left home as a little kid. My mom really didn't have a source of income. So we grew up, you know, on just poor. I mean, it was just straight up poor. I mean, that's exactly what we were. So when I got introduced to this concept, my brother-in-law called me up and he said, "Hey, Tim, I got real lucky. I met a really wealthy person and he could help us make a lot of money." And he goes, "You need to come with me and check this thing out because I think it's something that you could do." When I got introduced to this industry, I just said, "Wait a second, they're going to teach me how to do this? Like, if they're going to train me how to do it, I'm willing to learn how to do it." You know, so I got started part-time. I was one of those people that was busy and broke. And needless to say, I wasn't doing very well in school too. So I wasn't very smart. So I always tell people I was dumb, busy, and broke, right? And you can tell by looking at me, I'm not an ugly guy in the beauty industry. So I was ugly, dumb, busy, and broke. So needless to say, I was not in a place where I thought that I was going to be able to have massive success, but I was real coachable, teachable, and I was willing to work. And you know, that first year ended up making $147,000 in US dollars. I don't know the currency exchange. That stuff, like I said, I didn't graduate high school, so I don't even understand that stuff. But I know you guys have different money. I don't understand how that works. But you know, I just was really blessed. I got fortunate, had some great people teach me and mentor me. And needless to say, you guys will find out that I do this business with a light heart, man. I just like to have fun and if we don't want to have fun, I'll just make fun of myself, right? That's how I operate. But you guys, it's been a blessing, you know. And you know, what's happened to me through this profession. My wife asked me on Saturday. She goes, "You know, why do you love it so much?" And I thought about it for a second. I said, "Babe, I think I love it so much because I never know who I'm talking to." You understand? Like I sat in your guys' seats and I got started. No one ever would have picked me. No one would have ever said, "Hey, you know what? That 17-year-old kid right there with long hair that is wearing a tank top at a meeting where everybody else is dressed in suits, that guy's going to make it," you know, but I picked me. And I hope today, some of you after this call, and I get emotional when I talk about Remon because this is life changing. I hope some of you guys pick you. You guys see that? And I can't wait to be with you guys. I'm giving a commercial right now. On the 29th, I'm going to be out there. So we're going to have some fun this month together. But that's my story for direct sales and how I got started. You know, how I got started in Remon. I started a skincare company about 17 years ago. I'd never used skincare at the time. I was one of those guys that when his lips get chapped, he just licks them. You know what I'm talking about, right? I never used skincare in my life. I never put a lotion on my body. Like, you know, when I was a kid, probably like my mom put some like baby oil on me or something, but I didn't do it myself. You know what I mean? So I never used lotion. And we started in skincare and my wife was like, "How are you going to do this?" I'm like, I go, I don't know, just find some people with some skin and put some product on them, right? So we launched this company 17 years ago, a skincare company, and we blew it up to $1 billion in sales, and it was wild. I was like, skincare is it. Like it was unbelievable. And about 3 years ago, my good friend Danny Bay, somebody I had met when he was 19 years old, working at a Starbucks coffee, and I had the good fortune to get a chance to kind of share with him when he first got, into this profession, how this industry works. And he has had the work ethic and the leadership, and him and I built some amazing things together. He'd call me. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him obviously, for 26 plus years or whatever. And he sent me some product. He goes, Tim, nobody knows skincare like you. You got to try this stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to try your stuff. I've got my own stuff, right? That's what I thought. And my wife goes, just don't be a jerk. Try your stuff. So I put the product on, and I do a lot of stuff for my community here in America, and I coach youth sports, and I put the product on. I went to football practice, and one of the football coaches that I coach with, he's like, "Hey, bro, your skin looks good." And I was like, "What?" I thought the guy was like kind of hitting on me in a way. I was like, "Whoa, this is weird, right?" And then my daughter the next day goes, "Dad, did you get Botox?" I'm like, "Why in the world would I get Botox? Like me? No." And I asked my wife, I said, "Babe, why is people talking about my skin?" She goes, "It's got to be that Korean beauty stuff." I said, there's no way a product could work that fast. So I called Mr. Danny Bay, and he shared with me the story of the products. You guys all know it. If you haven't, you got to hear about it. I'm not going to get into it, but he's talking to me about tigers in grass. I'm like, what? Tigers? Tigers don't know anything about skincare. And then he's like, they found this water in a volcano. I'm like, they have water in volcanoes? Like, I thought it was just lava. I'm like, they got some crazy volcanoes in Korea. I wasn't really paying too much attention. I'm like, this sounds crazy. And then, we just kept meeting about it, meeting about it. I just said to myself, man, this thing is too good. I go, this thing is perfectly positioned. It's going to be a multi-billion dollar company. And I know that he's going to make a fortune and help a lot of people make a fortune. I said, man, I'd like to link arms with you and do this thing together. So we got started in December 2020. I don't know, 2 years ago, 2024, I guess it was, or no, it'll be 2023. December 2023, we got started. Took like 6 months to get to national director. We just ran. And you guys are all getting started at a time where like you guys are getting started in a very early on in the country. So you guys are really the pioneers. So don't compare what we were able to do to what you're able to do, because it is not the same thing, right? Is you guys are going to stand to benefit the most, because all of Europe is going to come from the people right now that are getting started, that are taking advantage of it. So you guys are really in the driver's seat for your success. And today, I know many of you have been on orientations before. Some of you are brand new. This is probably your first orientation, but if you've been on an orientation today, mine will be a little bit different. That's why I like jumping on as many as possible, is because I like to see, different ways that people promote it in different ways, and, different personalities. My personality is probably not going to connect with all of you. You're going to be like, oh man, this guy, he's different. And some of you are going to be like, man, this guy's way too excited for us in Britain. Like, this guy's way too pumped up. But if you guys would have been where I've been, starting off at 17 years old, to be able to enjoy, such an amazing run in this profession, and the benefits, and helping so many people become wealthy, you would feel the same way I feel. I get so passionate about this opportunity because I know that each and every one of you can do it. I know that for sure. But today I've just got to kind of get you to believe that you can do it. Once I can convince you that you can do it, and I'm telling you, right, we're going to be off to the races. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up my slide deck. I'm going to go through this information rather quickly, because I want to spend some time giving you guys a couple key things that I think will really help you guys explode fast for what's about to. I think I need to get the share settings. See, I'm sorry about this. It seems like everybody's Leisure's got the advanced settings, right? So I've got to figure out how to share my slide deck, but I'm going to get it on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, each and every one of you, my slide deck, and really just take you through it. But the timing right now where we are, it's never been better than it is right now. This moment in time, it'll never be recreated again. It'll never be duplicated again. And don't let this window of opportunity, you don't want this window of opportunity to slip through your fingertips. Okay. You really want to take advantage of action and activity, and just opening up your heart and sharing the Remont opportunity with as many people as possible. That's really what I want to share with you, because people right now, they need this opportunity. I can definitely speak for what's happening in America. People right now have got their hands up, and everybody's saying the same thing. Give me a chance, right? I'm looking for a way. And that's really where people are. And I think probably what's happening with our global economy, that everybody's feeling the same way, in all throughout Europe. And when you compare what's happening with Remon to anybody else in the profession, nobody can compete with what we've got. I mean, let's face it, right? We got the best products in the world. people ask me, why are you so like, why do you love skincare so much? And the major reason why is, obviously obviously being a guy, right? Like, whoops, I pushed the wrong thing. But obviously being a guy, like, I don't, why would I get involved in skincare? It's because 75% to 80% of this industry is women, right? I've been married for 30 years. I don't really have any women friends, right? I've got a bunch of sisters, right? I got sisters, but I don't really have any, I don't have any friends, right? I call all my business partners that are females, those are my sisters, right? And I don't, I don't really have a lot of female friends. In fact, I don't really have any, right? My wife's my only friend. So that's a female. So I need to be able to have products that are going to, and for the men that are listening, I just gave you a tip on how to stay married for 30 years. Okay, that was funny for me, but not for you guys. Anyways, what I want to share with you guys is that I've got to have products that are going to attract women, right? That's really what it is. Because you want to, if I'm a man, I'm in the 25%, I'm in the minority of this industry. Women are way better than men at this, in this profession, because women, each and every one of you know, mainly you that are married, women, you're better communicator than your husband, right? I mean, women, when my wife is happy, she talks. When my wife is not happy, right, she talks. When my wife is bored, she talks. Like, women are just better communicators than men, right? They love to talk. And when they find a product that they're passionate about, they're going to run wild with it. And you'll see a lot of guys in this, in Remon. You're like, why are so many guys in this? Because the comp plan is so aggressive, right? The comp plan really attracts the men. And the reason being is because when you see a beauty company and there's not a lot of men in it, you can probably figure out there's not a lot of pay in it, right? Men are more about the commission, women are more about the mission, right? So women get passionate about a product and they just want to share it with everybody. And that's really why Remon works so well, is because, we've got such an aggressive compensation plan, but at the same time, we've got these amazing products, right? And women love compliments. Everybody knows that, right? Women they enjoy them, right? I don't know if they love them, right? But I'm sure that nobody gets upset whenever they get a compliment, right? So, when you have a product that can give a compliment, you really have an opportunity to promote something strong. That's really the magic, right? The magic behind Remon. I don't sell skincare, I sell compliments. I don't sell skincare. I sell looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, wow, you know what? I look better than I did before, right? That's literally when I look at Remon, that's what I'm doing, right? I'm just selling compliments. Like, you want to get more compliments in your life. I don't think anybody's like, no, I don't want compliments. That's the worst thing in the world. People want that. And that's what that these products offer. And I just tell people, look, if I can knock 5 or 10 years off your face, you know what I mean? In a few days, I'm pretty confident, you're going to fall in love with these products just like I did. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this presentation. And I just absolutely love Remon. I love it so much. Being in this profession for 30 years, I tell people all the time, like, when you're getting started in a company, most people necessarily how they get started in this profession is just somebody talks to them about it and they take a look at it, right? But people like Lijah and myself, and I know that we've got other high level leaders on the call. We kind of pick the companies that if somebody attracts, we kind of pick what we want to do. Like, if we're going to do something, we do a thorough investigation. And I did obviously, when I started to look at Remon, I said to myself, this is unbelievable, because typically people that get started in a company, it's almost like betting on horses. I don't know if you guys have horse racing and like we do in the States, but we have horse races, and people, when they go to horse races, they'll be like, oh, lucky strike. I like that. Or lucky, lucky horse or whatever. And they just, I like the name of that horse. I'm going to bet on it. Right. So for me, it's like, I look at it almost like you're betting on a horse, right? Because most people, that's how they do it. But when you look at Remon, it's not like that. It's like looking at all the horses in the race, and then you see one of them that's a unicorn, right? It's like, whoa, that's Remon. Remon is a unicorn. There's never been anything like it. I've never seen anything like this. Nobody's growing their hero ingredients in K-beauty, let alone in direct selling, in a 160,000 square foot controlled AI environment, building a resort. Like, this thing is unbelievable. So I want to dive in it today. Today, really, I want to welcome everybody to Remon, share with you the support structure that we've got in place for each and every one of you, really help you launch your business and give you some of the key announcements that are happening right now. But the first thing everybody knows, right? We got the best products on the planet. Let's face it. Everybody that puts the product on their face, they know without a shadow of a doubt, right? It's like, for me, it's like almost like the fountain of youth, like, from what I remember hearing, like, people used to travel the world, like in boats and stuff, trying to find the fountain of youth, right? Back in the days, like a long time ago. And the fountain of youth, like, to me, it's like, I think the fountain of youth, it was like in a volcano on Jeju Island, right? We found it, that's the way I look at it. And really, I'm going to quickly go over this part of it because it's really simple. When you get started, what happens is you're going to get a back office really that's going to take you through everything you need to do to be able to become successful. You're going to get basically a replicated site where you can enroll new distributors, you can enroll new customers, orders, products. Everything that you need is at your fingertips. for you to be able to become successful, right? Excuse me. And the back office, this thing tracks everything for you. It's unbelievable. To be able to have a back office that tracks all the business, shares with you what's going on in your organization, that's really the difference maker, right? You have basically a business at your fingertips that you can work from the palm of your hand. It's unbelievable. It really is remarkable. And whenever you get started, you get your, like I said, you get your replicated website, your personal mall. And what you can do is you can create a bag and you can send it to customers like, hey, look, these are the products that I pick that I use. And when I talk to people, they're like, hey man, like, dude, how do I start looking healthy like you? Right. And I'm like, let me send you some of these, because people are like, you're just going to get, you change your face, change your finances, right? When you first get started, like you want to put, you want to put a lot of products on, you want to, what I mean is like, you really want to take it seriously at the beginning. Like I use the word lather, right? You want to lather the cream on and really get a fast glass skin. And you don't want to be, you want to make sure that you use some good, like a good amount of the product, because the faster you change your face, the more you change your face, the more customers you're going to get. So what happens is people are going to ask you all the time, like, whoa, what's going on with your face? Like, you look amazing. Like, what's going on? Your skin looks so great. And I just say, look, let me give you what you want, right? And I'll just create a bag and send it to them and say, look, buy these products. You're going to fall in love with them. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I've never seen a product like this. And I just get people excited about the products and send them a link and I send them a bag and boom, I love getting customers, right? So you can do a country specific bag. You can do like, you can put the name of the bag and everything that you need to really get a customer. And it's super, super amazing. Now the drive is where you're going to be able to access documents. You're going to be able to access, basically like collateral material in your market, right? And there's so much great information in there, videos, everything that you could possibly imagine is right at your fingertips, right at the drive. And then what I want to show you, this launching your business, this document right here is literally basically like at the beginning, you want to just follow the Remon system. Like I can tell you right now, like when I got started, I said, Danny, just tell me what the system is and I'm just going to run with it. Because what the key is it's not about people are like, oh, well, do this or do that. You don't really, for me, I don't change the system. I just promote the system, right? And that's to me is the key is how well you can promote the system, meaning how excited you can get people about filling out their launch their business sheet, filling out this launch your business document, about walking people through it, about launching your distributors the right way or your planners the right way, making sure you're helping them make a list so they can really come out of the gates fast and have a lot of success. Now, we're going to be doing a special training at the ARC building. Obviously, you guys all know this that are in the UK. This is going to be an amazing event. It's going to be obviously on March 29th from 3 to 6. We're going to be doing a Remon overview. No matter what, I always tell people like these events like today that we're on right now are really designed primarily for new people, but it's really designed for every planner. Like I always tell people, if you got a new person, you need to be on the orientation or the training. They need you, right? If you got a new person, same with this event, right? If you've got guests, you need this, you got to be at this event. But if you don't have guests, you need the event, right? So with orientations, if you got new people, you need to be on the event. If you don't have new people, the event needs you, right? So you got to make sure that you just plug in everything and take notes and grow as fast as you possibly can, because you want to replicate what we're doing. You want to, you want to learn and teach exactly everything that we're doing here right now. And we're going to break this thing down on exactly how you can get from where you are to where you want to go at this event. So we're going to be doing an overview for guests, and then we're going to be doing a training. Obviously, you all know about where the ARC is, 4th floor in Hammersmith. If you're brand new, this is obviously our basically our European headquarters for Remon. So you want to make sure we're going to have so much fun at this event. I promise you that. And you want to get a lot of new people out for that. So if you're not a senior manager right now, you want to get to senior manager before this event. You want to run hard to do your absolute very best to get yourself wrapped up as a senior manager before this event is going on. If you got people on your team, help them get to senior manager and get them to senior manager before this event, because we're going to be talking to, it's going to be a high level event that's going to really help people take their business to the next level. So let's talk about launching your business. Step number 1, your business plan, right? This is the document. We're going to break this thing down. Obviously, put your name on the top, ID number on the top. You can get this from the drive, download it, print it off for your new people. And what you want to do is this, you want to write down your goals, right? My mentor said you're either a wandering generality or you're a meaningful specific, right? You want to make sure you're writing down your goals, really what your short-term goals are in the next 3 to 6 months, your long-term goals, and then why you want the what you want. Let me say that again. Why you want the what you want. So what you want is your goals. Why you want it is your motivation, right? So for me, it was like when I first got started in this profession, you know, I wanted to be able to provide a quality of life. So I didn't have a family at the time. I was only a kid, right? But I wanted to be able to build a quality of lifestyle so my family never had to worry about finances. That was what my driving force was. And I knew why I wanted it. The reason why, you know, I work so hard and I'm so passionate is because, you know, growing up the way that I did, you know, and not having, you know, a lot of money available to us, it made me have a desire to never want to be in that situation or have my family be in that situation. So for me, it's like, it doesn't make a difference how well I'm doing in life. I'm always running, right? And am I running towards success, or am I running away from a wolf, a poverty wolf that's chasing me? I don't really know, right? But I do know this, that because of the way that I was fortunate enough to be brought up, and having, you know, not having a lot of money available to me has created a massive desire in myself. My sister's the same exact way. She has the greatest work ethic, and it's because of those past experiences. So I know why I want the what I want. I know why I operate the way that I do. You got to find out why. Somebody's like, I want to retire from my job. And it's like, well, why? Well, because I know that it's going to add years to my life, right? That's something, that's a why. Or I want to retire my wife, or I want to retire my husband. Why? Because I know his job is making him sick. So the why is so important, right? You want to make sure you know your why, because your why is going to be your bridge over troubled waters, right? Now, step number 2 is very simple. You want to become a senior manager as soon as possible. Okay. So when I get a brand new person started, first thing I say is, look, we want to create a senior manager story for you. Now, if you've been in for a while and maybe haven't got off to the fastest start, what I always tell people is welcome a reset. Make today day one in your mind. Mike, today is day one. So you'll have 2 stories. I got involved in Remon, you know, and maybe for the first so months, I really didn't take it seriously. Then I jumped on a call on, you know, St. Patrick's Day, right? I don't know if you guys celebrate that out here. I'm pretty sure you do. It sounds like it came from your guys' side of the world. But St. Patrick's Day, right? And I just got on a call and I made a decision that day that I was going to give it all that I got. And then within 5 days of that decision I made, or within 10 days, or within a month, or within 2, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's how I really became a senior manager, when I made that true decision. So here's what I want to share with you is, when you get started, obviously the first thing you want to do is get to senior manager. And the reason being is because you want to maximize your earning potential. All right. Being involved in business, most of us, not all of us, but most of us come from basically like a job. I want to say maybe a mentality or a job mindset. And now you have like an entrepreneur mind, right? You have an entrepreneur mindset, right? Now you're thinking like an entrepreneur. So when you think like an entrepreneur, and I apologize if I'm talking too fast, I get so fired up and wrapped up about Remon. But if you come from a, you know, when you're adopting an entrepreneur mindset, you got to think like a business owner, right? And a traditional business owner, and I'm only going to give you guys American statistics because I don't know the UK stuff, but I'm pretty sure the statistics are around the same. In America, the Small Business Administration tells us the average small business loan in America is about 450,000 US dollars. And 65% of those businesses fell within 5 years, right? And the ones that do succeed are averaging profits are between 5 to 7%. So if you think like an entrepreneur and you're thinking, okay, 5 to 7% is a good profit margin. Well, when you become a senior manager, your profit margin on your customers are going to be 30%. That's incredible. Like, there's not another business in the world. That's why when I talk to business owners, they jump on this, right? I just go, the reason why I'm so attracted to this is because show me another business where you can make 30% profits, right? And within what, your first 30 days, your first, you know, whatever. Like, some people hit senior, like I came in as senior manager. You know what I mean? Like, when I got started, I'm like, I need these products, right? And I understand business. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get 6,000 points worth of products because I need this stuff. And within the first week, I was already gone with them, right? They were already gone, right? I needed more. So for me, the way that I operate, and however you get there is great. Whether you sell your way there, you build your way there, we'll show you how to do it. But you want to have a goal date of when you want to wrap up senior manager. I would recommend to make a commitment in your mind to say, before the event on the 29th, when Tim comes to town, I want to be a senior manager. Right now, if you're like, oh, I don't know, I've been in for a while and I haven't been able to get there, don't let your past equal your future, right? Once you make a true decision and you make a declaration in your heart and a declaration in your mind, nothing can stop you, right? Nothing can get in your way. But you've got to make a declaration, say, I'm going to make it happen, and believe in that commitment. And then obviously, keep yourself accountable. Okay. So we'll talk more about that, right? Now, when you get started, obviously you want to equip yourself with starter kit. When I talk about starter kits, to me, it's like, if you own a gas station, what's the smartest thing to do? Most likely, if you own a gas station, you want to get some gas, right? If you owned a liquor store, you want to get some liquor, right? If you owned, any type of company, you want to have some products, right? You want to be successful, and you can't rub a website on somebody's face, right? So you want to put these products on people's skin. Now, there's three different sets. The big one, obviously, the ones that most people get are the business set and the advanced set. And the reason being, because that gives us 1,000 SP right out of the gates. And then once we get our 10 lifetime customer accounts, now we're able to earn more income, right? As a planner, if I get started as a planner, for instance, and I get a 300 point kit and I sponsor somebody in the differential comp plan, I'm going to make a 5% override, right? But if I get the 1,000 point set or 1,500 point set, when I sponsor somebody, since I unlock my uni level, I'm going to get 10% on level one, and then I'm going to get 5% on level two. So would you rather get 5% on level one or 10% on level one and 5% on level two, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. So majority of people, when they get started, they'll get either the advanced set or the business set. And more importantly, it's not just about the money that you make, it's about the products that you get. You want to get these products in your hands. Why? Obviously, right? You want to change your face, change your finances, right? You're going to sell these products. Somebody's like, well, how do I make a return on my commitment? You're going to put some products on your face, and then you're going to sell the products to other people, right? And you're going to make a return on your commitment right away, right? So when you get these products, you're obviously going to get your rebate, but you want to make sure you understand they're only available in your first 30 days. So when I got started, I got 4 of the 1,500 point sets. And the reason being is because I wanted to be a senior manager on day one. Now, do I recommend everybody do that? Absolutely not. Why? Because for me, it was like I had 100% confidence I was going to make this thing happen. But get started wherever you feel great, right? But you want to make sure when you get started that you get started with a pack. I always say pick a pack, right? And when you pick your starter set, you want to make sure that when you get your products, it's super simple. Take before and afters, use the products, fall in love with the products, know how to use the products. Obviously, we've got videos for days on how to use the products, and you're going to fall in love instantly with the results you get. And then what you want to do is promote it, right? So I always tell people, if you order your products whenever they come, that's great, but you want to beat your box. So if you're taking notes, write down beat your box. What does beat your box mean? It means you want to sign up people, right, as distributors, right, as planners in your organization, or get customers before your box of products comes. You don't want to wait, because if you create a beat your box culture in your organization, it's like, we got to get somebody started before your box of products come. That's one of the most important things that you can do to create the right culture in your organization, right? So the cool thing that everybody loves about the starter sets, they also come with free products. So you get a rebate and you get free products, right? It's so exciting. So make sure you get your pack, get whatever pack is going to be best for you. But like I said, the 1,000 and 1,500 point pack will help you release your unilevel commissions right away. So you'll actually be able to, you get a lot more money that way. That's what I always do, and help everybody do that. Now, senior manager, obviously that's where we want to be. Okay. Senior manager, that's where we want to be right away. Now, obviously where we want to be is we want to be director. Let me make no mistake about it, right? We want to be a director. Right when people get started, I get everybody like thinking director. To me, like, you've got to start with end in mind, right? Senior manager is a great place to visit, but not a great place to live. You see that? Like, it's a great place to visit, but not a great place to live. But you want to visit it quick, because it's going to help you maximize your earning potentials. Because how does it work, right? Senior manager is basically creating 6,000 in sales points within 3 months or less. I want to make sure I tell you, or less, because I kind of wish that they didn't give us 3 months to do it. Because if they gave everybody, the men in the room will know what I'm talking about, and the women will too, I guess. Because if my wife tells me to clean out the garage, and I say, okay, babe, when do you want me to do it by? And she says, in 3 months, guess when I'm going to get started? I'm going to get started in about 3 months, right? But if she says, I'm going to give you till this weekend to clean out the garage, right? I get it done faster. So deadlines are what motivate people. And I think sometimes when you look at the Remon comp plan, you're like, 3 months, okay, I'm going to take my time. Don't want to do that. You want to create a fast story. You want to create a story fast. I encourage people that you want to become because senior manager really takes about 7 days to really do. It's just the decision. Once you make a true decision and you say, I'm going to make it happen no matter what, that's when you're going to become a senior manager, because you need 6,000 sales points. Personally, anything that you buy or sell counts. Okay. So anything you personally buy or sell. And then when you recruit level one planners, whatever they buy or sell counts. And you can count up to 3,000 from one recruit towards your senior manager promotion. Okay. And if I said that too fast, it's super simple. 6,000 points, anything you do, sell or buy, recruit somebody, whatever they sell or buy. You can count 50% of the 6,000 from one recruit. Very simple, okay? And basically, every month we want to make sure that we're getting 3 active customers, right? That's 3 customers that buy from us any amount to release commissions. Now, what's interesting about Remon is if for some reason somebody is maybe out of town or they don't get the 3 customers, right? that money is going to bank and it's going to roll over to the following month. So it's more for regulatory purposes because we're building a long-term company here, right? So I love the fact that the way that Remon operates, there's no breakage. They're not trying to take your commissions or whatever. They want you to win. Okay. Now commissions, obviously, when you promote a product, you'll see people like it's 25% plus 5%. Okay, that's 30%, just in case, you know what I mean? Like you're like, I am not that good with math. 25% plus 5%. So you're getting 30% when you promote a product to somebody, right? And you can unlock the top retailer bonuses that are available, right? So 2,000 in personal sales points or 4,000, you can get an extra 5 or 10%. So what does that mean, Tim? You're saying numbers too fast. Slow down, buddy. That basically means what? 30 to 40% when you sell a product. That's going to be your profit. That's unheard of in business. Just so you know, right? So we'll show you all how this thing works and get you all there. Just stay plugged in and just start taking action, right? So basically what happens when you get a customer, you're getting anywhere between 30 to 40%, 25 plus 5 plus 10, right? But the 30 is the minimum, 40 is obviously the max there as a senior manager. When you sponsor a brand new planner that wants to become successful with Remon because they want to change their life financially and they want to be a part of the fastest growing company, K-Beauty company, #1 K-Beauty company, the best K-Beauty company, and you get a planner started, they're going to get 20%. I mean, you're going to get 10%. The planner is going to get 10%, and you're going to get the differential payout on that as a senior manager, which would be what? 30%. Would 10% minus 30 is 20. So you earn 20 on that. Okay. Now, when you sponsor a planner, right, a planner is going to get 20%, and you're going to get the difference of 30, which is what? 10%. Okay. And if you sponsor a senior manager, you're going to get a 5% override. Now, those percentages are based on whatever they sell or buy. Now, when they start to build a distribution team, you're going to get something called a 5% override. Okay. So basically, anytime a volume comes in past your level ones, what I just showed you the level 1 percentages, level 2, level 3, level 4, that 5% is going to roll up to the senior manager. Plus, when you unlock your unit level, what happens, right? Every month you want to unlock your unit level. You're getting an extra 5% on levels 1 and 2, 3% on levels 3 and 4. So basically, there's extra income on the table. And how do you unlock your unit level? Every month, no matter what, write this down. You want to generate a minimum of 1,000 in personal sales points between you. Anything you buy, anything you sell will count towards that. And obviously have your 10 lifetime accounts, which is very simple to do. Okay. We're taking action like never before. Now, let me share with you this. Team leader is where, like I like to say, like that's where the bulk of the money is, right? So once you get to team leader, you want to do it as fast as possible. Okay. And how fast can you get it done? As fast. I mean, as fast as you want, right? But team leader promotions are once a month. So you can get it done right now, this month, right? And if right now you're getting started, it seems a little bit like that seems like a lot. Set a goal to make it happen quick, right? A lot of you are working with team leaders that have hit it maybe. If I've hit it in 60 days, I should be able to teach you how to do it in 30 days. That's my mindset. If I've been able to do it, I should be able to navigate people to do it quicker than me because I know what obstacles I would avoid if I was doing it again. So when you get it done, then you want to help other people become team leaders, right? Because that's where, just so you know, the match pay here is unbelievable. So let me share with you this. How do you become a team leader? 50,000 in sales points in your entire organization, right? With a minimum of 3 senior managers and 3 separate legs, a minimum. I like to say minimum. They don't have to be personally sponsored, just 3 different legs. But you want what I teach in my organization, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but what I teach my team is that we want 10, right? If you get 10 senior manager legs as a team leader, you are making a lot of money, right? All my team leaders know once they hit team leader, they still got to get their 10 senior managers because I'm not trying to create a bunch of team leaders. I'm trying to create a bunch of rich team leaders, right? I want to make people make a lot of money. And that's how we teach. That's what I teach. So I'm just giving you guys what I do. Like you can take what I do and say, I'm just going to do whatever this says. But I'm telling you, 3 is the minimum, right? You want to have 10. Okay. Now you're obviously not going to have 10 when you hit team leader. You're probably going to have 3, 4, 5 or whatever, but you want to continue building until you have 10 solid legs, right? I tell people the faster the wider you go, the faster it'll grow, right? Your income. So basically as a team leader, you're going to make 40% differential on your whole organization in your open line group down. Basically what that means down to the next, obviously team leader. Now, when somebody creates team leader, you're going to get matching bonus of 40%. It's amazing. Okay. So let me show you how this works. Okay. Basically if you create 3 senior managers, super simple to understand, right? That's going to be 18,000 in volume, right? Minimum. But the average team leader, you're going to get more than that out of a team person because they're going to get a bigger organization, right? Like they're not just going to have basically 6,000. They're going to have more We're gonna have sponsor more people, have more level twos, level threes, level fours. But basically, 10 every month you want to create obviously 10,000 in sales points a month. That's very basic, mainly if you're building it, on a solid foundation. And basically the qualifications are 10,000 a month for 5 months or 50,000 as soon as possible. But it's within a 5 month rolling period. Once again, that deadline, people say 5 months. So what people will do is sometimes they'll wait 5 months, right? Don't wait. Like the faster you do it, the speed of the pack is determined by the lead dog, and you're the lead dog of your organization, right? So we're going to teach you how to become successful quick. And now, as a team leader, you're going to unlock a full 20. You can now, as you're unlocking an additional 22% total payout on your unilevel. 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's 22%. Okay, on your unilevel, right? On all the levels combined, like 5% level one, 5% level two. At level simply this: if you sponsor me, I'd be your level one. If I sponsored somebody, that would be your level two, right? I mean, your level three be my level one. So as you build your team, you're going to have different levels to your business, right? So it's just compensation plans drive behavior. The behavior here is get a lot of customers, teach a lot of people to get a lot of customers, and help a lot of people get started and get a lot of customers, right? That's how we make money. Now, or how you get paid as a team leader is over the top. Like this is where people get so excited. People that have a direct sales background, they go bananas over it. People that have never been in direct sales, they absolutely can't sleep at night because once you become a team leader, you're going to get 40 to 50% on anybody that you personally enroll as a customer. You're going to get a 40% rebate on anything you personally buy. Obviously, when you from yourself, and when you sponsor a planner, they're going to make obviously 10%. You're getting the difference of 40, which is 30%. Okay. Right. Whenever a planner sponsors a planner, you're going to get 25% on that second level planner plus the unilevel. So you're getting the differential plus the unilevel. This is unbelievable, right? And you want to make sure every month, obviously, you unlock your unilevel. Now, when you sponsor a manager, just understand this. If you're brand new, this is all confusing to you. It was so confusing to me at the beginning. Trust me. I didn't know the comp plan. Mr. Danny Bay called me and said, "Hey, bro, you just hit director," and I was like, "What? What does that mean?" Like, I didn't even know. I was just talking to people. Like, I was just literally talking to people. I just knew that if I put my head down and talked to people and talked to as many people as I possibly could, and every night I went to bed, and when my head hit the pillow, I knew I did my best. I knew I was going to make a lot of money, right? So I can just tell you, once you start to study this compensation plan, it's very, very, very powerful. The team leader game plan, right? You want to get to team leader because your entire organization, whatever's not paid out on 40% is going to come to you. Okay. And then when you create a team leader, you're going to get 40% of what they earn on their organization from their matching bonus on their unilevel, right? And on their what? Differential payout. Just understand it's absolutely phenomenal. So we'll teach you how this thing works. Just understand that it works, okay? Really well. That's why when you see so many guys in the company, it's because the team leader pays out so much. They know if they can get to team leader, and that's why so many men are attracted to it. But women, they just share the product, fall in love with it, and share it with their friends and stuff, and make a ton of money, right? So everybody wins in this compensation plan. But I can just tell you, like, this thing is so big, right? And the reason why this thing grows so fast is because everybody knows people with skin, right? But like I told you earlier, men are more about the commission, right? And women are more about the mission. But women, trust me, love the commission too, okay? Because there is so much money in this thing, it's unbelievable. And the mission is just to make everybody look as beautiful as they possibly can. So we're going to make this thing happen fast. I'm not going to get too much into the details. I don't want to confuse you. I'm a big believer, like, confused minds don't do anything. It's just understand, mainly for you that are new. If you've been in for a while, you probably understand how team leader works. But the key is to get there, right? We can talk about theoretically how much money you're going to make when you get there, and we could draw hypothetical examples. The key is to get there. So how do you get there? You become what I call a senior manager factory, right? When somebody gets in, get them to senior manager. Somebody gets in, get them to senior manager. Okay. Because ultimately where you want to get to is director as soon as possible. Okay. You want to get to director as soon as possible. Okay. And how you become a director is super simple. Become a senior manager factory, right? And teach your team to become senior manager factories, and make sure when people get started, we get them to senior manager. That's how you grow through this thing fast, is help brand new people get to senior manager. Okay. And then obviously from senior manager, team leader on, but it's super simple to duplicate. Okay. So I just want to share with you the commitment action, because I want to get into the specialized training, and I want to talk to you about this. Schedule your 2K pop-ups, right? What's a K pop-up? Getting together, people putting product on their skin. Okay. So basically what you want to do is have 2 pop-ups scheduled, right? I always tell people, like, what I always encourage is one on the weekend, one on the weekday. And what you want to do is pack those events, right? If you want 10 people there, you need to have 20 commitments. If you want 20 people there, you need to have 40 commitments. If you want 5 people there, you got to have 10 commitments. So you get people committed to showing up to your pop-up. And it's just the pop-up is basically getting people together, preferably in a living room, and putting product on their skin, right? That's literally all we do, right? Pop up, pop up, pop. Like you just pop. Once you pop, you can't stop, right? The first one, you're going to be nervous. Once you do it, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was fun. But you want to schedule those 2 dates, make a list. I can't stress this enough. Make a list. The list is everything, right? If you don't make a list, you don't have an inventory, right? And I always tell people, you want to make a list of 100 plus people, everybody that you know, okay? Put them on a list. And then basically create your product story, create your business story, get on the orientations, right? Get to the presentations, right? Get to the team events, get to the trainings, get to the conventions. Just plug in. Make a commitment to say, hey, look, I'm going to the top. Over, under, or through, I'm getting there. This moment in time, it'll never be duplicated again. I'm going to take advantage of this, right? I'm going to step up. I'm going to get the job done, okay? And I'm going to explain something to you that's very important. You do not need to know 100% of everything to be successful. Let me explain that to you. That's why it's so easy for me. I don't know anything about skincare. I don't know anything about the products. Now, the product specialist does. And I know the products change my face, change my finances, right? And when I talk to people that are like, man, I need to know what's in the product, I'm like, well, then I can help you find out. But I don't know, because when people ask me a question, I've been around the industry long enough to know they don't know the answer. So if they don't know the answer and I answer the question for them, I make them feel inferior because they don't know. But if I say, I don't know, let me find out, then guess what? It makes them go, oh, okay, cool. They don't feel bad for not knowing. So I'm just giving you a little leadership tip there. That's a golden leadership tip, by the way. Golden, 24 karat gold, by the way, right? So when you get people started, you don't have to know 100% information. Literally, I was telling somebody the other day that like when we got started, it was the same, like right around the same time Taiwan opened up. So Mr. Danny Bay was out in Taiwan for 4 weeks. And we didn't know the comp plan. We didn't know anything about the products. We were just busy finding people with skin and slapping the products on and getting excited, right? People will be more impressed by your height of enthusiasm than your depth of knowledge, right? And we were ignorance on fire, and we didn't know how the comp plan worked. We literally would have a gentleman in customer service named Sung doing like overviews for us. That's hilarious. Like if you know Sung, you know, like that is not the guy that is you would think would be doing overviews. But we were so fired up. We were like, tell him how it works, Sung. Like we were literally using the customer service guy to do overview. So we had no idea what we were doing. We were just ignorance on fire, right? So I'm just letting you know, people were just like, they're excited. They don't know what's going on. I'm brand new. I'm looking at it for the first time. I don't know what's going on, but man, this thing's going to happen, right? So it's all about having confidence, knowing where you're going, and knowing that you're going to get there, right? So this is the schedule of events you want to plug in, but more importantly, when you get new people started, you want to make sure you get them on these calls, right? The orientation training Tuesday, Wednesday, we have the pop-up party. Bring your own products, obviously. You know what I mean? But we have the pop-up party, right? Business presentation and pop-up party at obviously at the ARC building right there. And obviously that's at 1900 hours. Business presentation on Thursday at 1800 hours on Zoom. You want to take advantage of that. And there's so many events. Business presentation, pop-up party on Thursday at the ARC. You guys are lucky that they open up that you guys get to do that. And then Live K Beauty trainings, obviously, on March 7th is going to be obviously those are happening sometimes on Saturday. So just understand this: events will do more than you can do for yourself. Okay, it's kind of like social proof. When people come around, they see other people, they're like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" So just realize that like all you got to do is get people started and learn how to get them excited about getting it and plugged into the system. Like for the first year I got started in this profession, I didn't really speak in front of the room or get on Zooms or calls or anything like that. I just brought people to the information. I was a professional bringer. Just bring. Okay. And I just brought people. Like I just literally brought people. I was 17. I didn't know how to communicate. Like I took speech class once and failed. Actually, I took it twice and failed. But I'm just telling you, you don't have to be a know-it-all to be successful. You just got to be a do-it-all. Right? That's magic. Okay. So let me just make sure I give you guys a reminder about this. This is happening on March 29th at 3 to 6. I promise you, everybody's going to have fun. That's what I can promise you. But you want to get to senior manager before this event. Now, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you be able to build for this and give you some things that will help you really have massive success with the Remount opportunity. Okay. Now, the biggest thing is this. Like, and I'm going to speak, and like last thing you guys want to hear is like some American guy telling you guys how people in Britain are. Like that's obviously the worst. You're like, dude, I'm gonna come on Sunday just so I can slap you, Tim. But like people in Britain are really like nice people, right? And they don't want to be pushy. They don't want to be like that, right? And I know you probably think Americans are all pushy and stuff like that, but I know how you guys are, like the way you guys operate. Like you guys don't want to be pushy, but when I tell people like the way I look at it is like, and I know you guys know Winnie the Pooh, right? I love the Winnie the Pooh example. Like 100 Acre Wood, right? I gave this training at conventions, like 100 Acre Wood. If you went to 100 Acre Wood, right, and you're hanging out with Christopher Robinson and you came across Piglet, you're like, oh, he's adorable. That's what all the girls think. Oh, he's so cute. But like Tigger, you're like, man, that guy's having fun, right? I want to go have fun with Tigger. Now imagine if you're a quiet, reserved person and not like a Tigger type personality, which I wasn't when I got started. I know that seems hard for you to believe, but like you can ask my wife how I'm not normally like I'm just pretty chill. But when I got started in this profession, when I got fired up and excited, that's where power comes from. That's where power comes from. Meaning what? If a reserved, quiet person becomes over the top excited, imagine Piglet acting like Tigger. Whoa, right? It's way more powerful when an outgoing person is outgoing, or an outgoing person, or a person that's always pushy is pushy. That's not powerful. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying be pushy because that's not what we're talking about. But what I'm saying is that you want to have a backbone, not a wishbone, right? My attitude is like, look, I don't want anybody to miss this. Like I know what I got. Like I know that I've got the best opportunity on the planet. I know that. That's the reason why I have success in Remon, is because my belief system is through the roof. You understand? Like I know for sure, no matter what's going to happen, right? I don't want to say it because I'm. Some of you're like, oh, I don't want to make that much money, but I'm just telling you, there's going to be some money made here, and I'm just like, no matter what, we're going to make it happen. Over, under, through. My attitude, and I know Leisha's like this too, is man, we're going to the top, right? And I know I see Abby on here, Abby, top director in America. She's like, dude, that's the same way she operates. Like leadership, man. It's like over, under, through, man. We're going to make it happen. Challenges don't exist if you're going fast enough, right? There's no obstacle if you're going fast enough. You guys see what I'm saying? And I look at this business and this profession like a train, man. It takes a lot of energy at the beginning to get it going, but once that bad boy gets going, there's no stopping it. Try to jump in front of a train. You're not stopping a train. Don't jump in front of a train. Oh my God. That's the worst advice ever. If you're taking notes, don't write that down, Tim. But I'm saying, like, you ain't jumping in front of a moving train, that you ain't stopping it, right? You know? So what I'm saying is that you've got to have a backbone and know that no matter what, you've got the best thing on the planet. So when I sit down with somebody, I'm letting them know, like, look, man, I'm going to get you to the top. You just got to make a decision and commitment. And I know that I'm going to be there for them. I know that so you've got to understand first, hey, I'm going to the top. You understand, like, look, man, I'm going to become a director. I'm going to become a director no matter what. I'm going to become a senior director. I'm going to become a national director. Guaranteed. Guaranteed I'm going to do it. And if you have that conviction and you convince yourself of it, and people can see that you believe, people will be afraid not to join you when they know that you know where you're going. Say that again slower, Tim. People will be afraid not to join you when they know that you know where you're going. That's the secret to success. Over, under, through. People follow strength. So, but if you're like, you should probably get started and maybe like get some products and they're like, you understand? I'm not saying you got to tell them, hey, you need to get products, but I just tell people the way I operate. Look, when I got started, I knew I needed products. You know what I mean? I knew that if I was going to make a fortune in this business and help other people get a fortune, I needed to change my face, right? So I was right away. I was like, I want to get a pack, and they were. When I saw the starter sets, I was like, look, I need to lead by example. So I got the biggest pack possible. You understand? Like that's the kind of confidence that people want to follow. People don't want to follow. Well, you get started if you want. It's like, dang, dude, if your neighbor's house is on fire, you're just gonna ring the doorbell a couple times. If you know he's in there, mainly if you know that he's in there with his family, right? Like, I don't like my neighbor. This guy that lives across the street from me, he's like crazy. He's always mad at me about something. Oh, your son's car's in front of my house, and your trash cans are out too long. I'm gonna tell the board. It's like, oh my God. I'm not really a big fan of him, but if his house is on fire and I knew he was in there with his wife and his kids, I'm breaking the door down and I'm going to save him. That's just the way I operate. Maybe I care too much, right? I know he might be like, oh my God, you just broke into my house. I'm going to sue you for breaking and entering. It's like, dude, your house on fire. I'm saving your life. You guys. So you want to have a backbone and just tell people like, look, man, we're going to the top. And I really, if you're going to do this, I'm going to strongly encourage you to get started, and make a commitment, because people follow strength, not weakness. But if you're too scared to ask for people to get started, that just tells me that you don't have that confidence, right? So I'm super confident. Like, I know that if somebody gets started working with us, like, think about it. Like, if somebody gets started working with us in UK, all of us on this team, and they plug into the system, there's no way you cannot succeed. We got the best system on the planet, right? So it's like, when I get started, I have that confidence. And the biggest thing is, I don't want people to miss it. So when I talk to people about it, I do, if somebody doesn't want to do it, the last thing in the world I'm going to do is convince somebody against their will, right? If you convince somebody against their will, you guys probably read, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you convince people against their will, they're the same opinion still, right? I'm not dragging them across the starting line because I know they're not making it to the finish line. But what I will tell you is this, right? No matter what, I'm going to make everybody look at this. Why? Because I don't want to have to explain what happened to me financially. You understand? You got to realize the same thing, man. If you know you're going to the top and you're going to make this thing happen and you're going to succeed, you're going to become wealthy with this opportunity. Guess what? You better at least show it to people, or you're going to lose friendships and relationships over it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I talk to everybody about Riemann. Everybody. Like, because, like, what am I going to do? Go over and become wealthy and let them live in have the same lifestyle that they have now, and not make them at least take a look at it? And I know someone's like, well, they don't want, somebody's not interested. Well, of course they're not interested. They're not interested because they don't know anything about it. I call my friend, they're not interested. Somebody told me the other day, I'm like, that would be weird if they were. If I called to somebody and I called them and said, hey, I want to show you a business I'm fired up about, I know you're going to love it. When can we get together? I got to show it to you. And they're like, I'm not interested. I go, obviously, that'd be weird if you were. I haven't told you about it yet. When can we get together so I can give you the information that's going to get you interested? You know what I mean? Like, how could somebody be interested in something they don't know about? That's whenever, that would be weird. If they're like, I'm like, if you were interested in this thing and didn't know about it, I would be a little bit shocked, because I know that wouldn't be really true interest. I need to get together with you to show you the information to see if it's something that you're going to be interested in. And I just get together with them, start the product and then tell them the story, right? You just got to have the confidence and know that you're going to the top. And I know somebody's like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing when I got started in Riemann. I definitely didn't know what I was doing when I got involved in the industry 30 years ago. But all I can tell you is this: it's super simple. Find some skin, slap some product on it, looking better, right? We're making everybody's face look better. And what are we doing? Helping people make money. Just get excited, okay? And wherever you are right now, right, in your life, I can just tell you right now, if you're excited, people are going to follow you, right? Because people want to be excited. Most people's life is boring. They go from homework. I don't know, in the UK, they call it homework, but like when we used to do assignments in school, they called it homework. Homework's not fun. And that's what most people do their whole life, is just homework. And they do it long enough, and then maybe on Friday they'll go to the pub or whatever, right? I didn't say bar. Notice I'm learning the language. I'm speaking UK, baby. Right? I would go to the pub, right? And then go back home, work, homework. Like, so like, homework's not fun, right? What is fun is what? You know what I mean? Enjoying your life and having that freedom, right? And that's not going to happen for people if things don't change, right? If they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to keep getting what they're getting. And I care a lot about people, and I don't want to ever see somebody miss out on this opportunity, because I know that if they get started with us, lock arms with us, and never let go, we're going to take them to the top. You got to have that same confidence, and people got to know that. You got to get rolling. Don't wait till the 29th. You don't wait till the 29th. Don't promote that event to recruit. What you do is called recruit to promote, meaning recruit as many people as you possibly can so they can promote into that event. That's how you blow it up. It's called recruit to promote. Don't promote to recruit. I'm having fun. So I just wanted to share with you some of that information. I love you so much, you guys. I can't wait. And I haven't even met most of you yet. I cannot wait. We're going to have so much fun together. We're going to build this thing together. Get ready to have fun. On the 29th, bring your fun time, because we're going to have fun. And if not, we'll just make fun of me. And we're going to make this thing to happen together. Appreciate the time. Appreciate the commitment, and an honor to be able to be with you today and get a chance to hopefully serve some of you with this information. See you guys at the top. We'll see you guys on the next Zoom. Thanks, everybody.
Doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. In the end, it doesn't even matter. fall to fall. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had